You're tuned into the VSX Digital Sports Network.
I said, baby,
You're listening to the boss of the big board.
I said, baby,
JP the Tech Hat. Vegas Scoreboard Express. Giving you that grease.
I step up on the scene.
Back at you live. JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express here in Las Vegas. 107.1 FM, AM 1400. It's Sunday morning. Happy 4th of July weekend for all you folks out there shooting those illegal fireworks. I got him back in studio with me, my main man, Daryl Harris from the D-Hoops podcast, KLAS, CBS 8 here in Las Vegas. Going to be talking some Olympic basketball, WNBA. It's an all-ball Sunday with a little bit of baseball pick sprinkled in at the end. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. Doing great.
There you go. There you go. So glad to have you back in here. Got my main man, Freddie Smooth, is going to be coming on at 9 o'clock with a preview of our Blues show. That's right, giving you some blues this morning after JB the Ticket from VSX Digital Sports Network. He's in studio. You're going to hear from him in about 5 minutes or so.
I said, baby,
But most importantly, you guys know who I am, JB the Ticket, the boss of the big board, the big boss that is. When we get back from this short commercial break, we're going to jump into it. WNBA, Team USA is here in Las Vegas. Shout out to Team USA. Boys got to go represent and bring home that gold medal. You know what time it is. Daryl Harris chopping at the bit. It's time to get that work, get that cash. Let's get the money.
You're listening to the boss of the big board, JP the Tech Hat. Vegas Scoreboard Express. Giving you that grease.
Like night vision when I come through. Night vision catfish looking for you.
Skip your cable bill this month. Enjoy the action with JB and Fubo TV. Get 7 days free. 15% off your first month. No credit check. No deposit. No installation hassle. Go to FuboTV.com/JB. Sign up, download the app, and start watching games.
Enjoy being a subscriber after the first month. Easy cancellation anytime. Regional restrictions apply. Sign up at VegasScoreboardExpress.com.
You're tuned into the VSX Digital Sports Network.
A whole new gang for me like T. Lee.
You are rocking with the hottest. Put your hands up for the boss. The Mixmaster is live. Get ready.
It's all I'm tripping on, 'cause ain't nothing.
You're listening to the boss of the big board,
Rolling on the hot sunny day is one note for show. And I'm clowning on
JP the Tech Hat.
and mashing to the backyard boogie.
Vegas Scoreboard Express.
Get your boogie. Get your boogie on. And we coming with that.
Giving you that grease.
That's right, I'm coming back with that backyard boogie. Happy 4th of July weekend. Everybody is in the studio. My main man Freddie is on the board with us. My main man Daryl Harris giving you some of that backyard boogie. Mac 10 again. Shout out to Team USA. Basketball is ready. Daryl, are you ready to drop some grease with me? Come on, let's get it.
Yes, sir.
That's what I'm talking about. Again, waking you up here, 107.1 FM, AM 1400 is where you lock and load with me each and every Saturday and Sunday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Now, again, yesterday, I know that I wasn't on the air, but it was a holiday weekend. Took me a little bit back. A little bit of time to get back into form. But again, I got Daryl Harris in studio. So let's go ahead and jump into it, my friend. We've been talking about it for quite some time. This Team USA, the NBA is over, but we've got some Olympic basketball this summer to continue to feed you basketball junkies out there.
We sure do.
So I've been taking a look at this team, actually, and I'm seeing some guys that are getting quite long in the tooth. You know, it's like I'm probably going to be their last Olympics, but we've got some young guns coming up, man. Guys like Anthony Edwards. You got the kid Devin Booker from Phoenix. So still got some young talent coming in to Team USA this year. But we want to talk about the explosion, if you will, of European talent in the NBA. I think that's going to have a big factor on whether or not we walk directly to the gold medal. So go ahead and jump into it. D Hoopster Podcast, Apple Podcast, 5-star rated. You guys got some good grease over there, man, you know?
Oh, you know.
Long-winded for an old man like me, but, you know.
It's a classroom. It's a discussion. I'll take it.
It is. That's called D Hoops University, and there you go, man. I'm getting about a C+ in it, but go ahead.
Yeah, that's passing. This Team USA roster, I'll just go ahead and read it out. We got Bam Adebayo, Devin Booker, Steph Curry, Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant, Anthony Edwards, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Halliburton, LeBron James, Jrue Holiday, Kawhi Leonard, and Jason Tatum.
There you go. Fantastic team. Jason Tatum, NBA champion.
The coaching staff, Steve Kerr, head coach, Mark Few, Tyronn Lue, Eric Spoelstra, assistants. Great coaching. So we have changed the guard here. We don't see any more, what was that old coach from the Spurs? Pop.
Yeah. Those guys that the tooth went a little bit long, but we got love for them. We respect them for what they did. Give them the cash. But again, talking about some of the other teams out there, I know Serbia is probably going to have Luka Doncic, probably a couple of these other guys cracking around on these NBA rosters. But when you go into the actual structure of the way they're going to do it this year, I think they're kind of getting away from a round robin. I think they're just going to strictly do groups. You got to win your group to move ahead. When you look at where Team USA is right now, not big on size, a lot of athleticism, a lot of experience. But some of these younger guys, if it's their first Olympics, how do you think they're going to fare out? I don't think Devin Booker's ever been before. Am I correct?
Yeah, well, a lot of them have Team USA experience. It's just that Team USA hasn't been perfect outside of Olympic play in recent years. Look no further than
we went through that back in the early 2000s with Lamar Odom and them. Go ahead.
And even that, look back at last summer, we didn't medal in the FIBA Olympic game, FIBA International Games. So we're going to get a test this week. We have an exhibition game against Canada. They're still making cuts to their roster. A lot of these teams are still making their final versions of announcements right now. Team USA is already in the lab because, they can't. This won't be a cakewalk. There's going to be talent, competition out there. France looks like a problem.
Right. France. Let's talk about it. Who's on their roster? Go ahead.
France looks like a problem. Need I say more than Victor Wembanyama and Rudy Gobert?
Oh, man. There you go.
It's looking like a problem. They have much more as well, but it's not just them. Canada's got a lineup of NBA players.
Yeah, go ahead.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jamal Murray, Dwight Powell, Kelly Olynyk, Lou Dort, Dylan Brooks, RJ Barrett.
There you go. They'll help bring back Drake's career.
They're going to give
Drake needs to make an Olympic song. Sounds like it.
Is coming off of a gold medal in that FIBA games last summer.
Mm-hmm.
They've got the Wagner brothers, Dennis Schroeder, and all these guys are just not afraid of Team USA. Now, we did go and get gangbusters. I think the combination of Steph Curry, Anthony Davis, LeBron, Kevin Durant, that's a potent lineup you're putting out there at all times. Anthony Edwards, you got explosion, and Tyrese Halliburton's going to be throwing alley-oops against these guys' second unit.
Very good point guard. Great vision. Great vision. Great vision.
Really cruel.
But let's talk about defense, because you mentioned a couple of guys that I know haven't played much defense, costing me money on money lines and spreads over the regular NBA season. But from a defensive perspective, you look at the way that the NBA has transitioned into Euroball, where there's a lack of defense. So this looks like it's going to be a score fest. Not only from a betting perspective, probably going to be able to take a lot of overs, but I honestly don't think that we're going to be beating teams on the offensive side and then dominating on the defensive side. I think we're going to have to do a little bit of work to make sure that not only we get the win by one, but as far as spreads and things like that are covering, I've already talked to a couple of bookmakers. Lines are getting close to the double digits early. -8, -9, -11. The NBA is an international league. I mean, it is what it is. It's FIBA America. Okay. So you just mentioned a plethora of NBA All-Stars and top tier players playing for even Canada, which is the team that used to get smoked back in the day. I remember when the Dream Team, shout out the original team, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, the like. These guys, I mean, they even had Larry Bird on that team, When you look at where the talent level is now, though, and you ask yourself, can Team USA come in and dominate, or are we going to end up in a situation where we go to a medal round, quote unquote, a medal round, not necessarily the gold medal round, because there's parity between the players. There's knowledge between the players. The players have had experience playing against each other for a full season. The NBA, as in the last 30 years, have made a conscious effort to pluck talent from Europe, from Asia, So when you go into it from that perspective, it used to be Team USA was the main team that you got to beat. And you knew that those were the stars and you were aspiring to be that. But now these countries
are reflected. Yeah.
Exactly. Represented in the highest league in the NBA. How do you think that's going to shape up as a factor in relationship to Team USA? I mean, you just mentioned the Canada game. It sounds like an East-West All-Star game to me in the NBA. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, in answering that and even kind of pointing to, is this going to be a defensive team? Is this team going to have the versatility? I think that's the priority when assembling this roster, is that you're going to face different kinds of teams that play different kinds of ball, and you need that variability. I look at a Joel Embiid being on this team.
Right.
That indicates that, okay, well, we've got options. Right. At the end of the day, we can try and go, rebound and hang and bang kind of team. We can slow it down if we want. We can put Joel Embiid out there next to Bam Adebayo or next to Anthony Davis, next to Kevin Durant. Right. And have a lot of size. Right. We can play small ball. Right. We can put our guards out there, Halliburton and Booker and Steph, and put Jason Tatum at the 5, and it's really nasty. So,
but who's going to guard Luka Doncic? Who's going to guard Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? You say he plays for Canada. That was an NBA MVP candidate.
Of course.
As I go back to that original question, how is Team USA going to beat their teammates and opposing opponents that they normally play during the regular season? Team USA used to have an advantage prior to 2004. 2004, we saw what Argentina did. You had Manu Ginobili. You saw what Lithuania was able to do when they had several men on their team that were in the NBA. Today is different. Team USA, the dream team, they hit the world like a complete superstorm. Okay, there was no opportunity for anyone to beat them. It was just, hey, we're playing against our heroes. Now, there is none of that. You are playing against your teammates and your opposing players that you play against every single season. The season just ended. And again, I go back to that exhibition game because Team USA is here in Las Vegas. Again, shout out Team USA. Glad that you chose Vegas to train and get ready for this. But if any of you are up this early and are listening, listen to what Uncle JB is telling you. You're playing against guys who know your game. That's exactly the point that I'm making. They know their game. They know what to expect. So I think the parity is going to be there. So the question is, what is the secret for Team USA to come out and dominate in this Olympic tournament? Because if you look at the rosters from a basketball perspective, it just looks like a rearranged NBA season. Go ahead, Daryl.
Yeah, no, they got to buy in. They got to buy in. This is a unique tournament, a unique, weeks long lock in. You can't afford to lose games whatsoever. Can't have a bad game.
Right.
And it won't be a given. And last year, I'm looking back just because I was really bought into the FIBA tournament, getting ready for the Olympics this coming year. We know the Olympics in 4 years will be here. Mm-hmm. I live tweeted observations because I'm like, I'm really watching these games. This is interesting.
Right.
And one of my very first observation was that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander looks like a 99 overall.
There you go. That's what I'm saying. It looks like a 99 NBA Live player.
He was insane. He was insane last summer. So
because this,
why that translated.
Another point that I'm making is as the NBA transitions into FIBA style, these NBA players have come up playing the FIBA hybrid style where you have the passing, you have the hard cuts, the defense, the backdoor work, all of that. But the high flying ability, the highlight ability. You talk about Victor Wembanyama. You talk about that France team. Twin Towers. I told the Spurs to pick up one of the big guys, Zach Edey, but they didn't do it. They went guard heavy. Whatever. But the point I'm making is these players are used to playing in the style that the NBA is trying to adapt to. And when you have that hybrid style where you can play FIBA ball, because this is where these young players that are international came up in, they didn't normally come up in the U.S. college system, if you will. You talk about a guy like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Didn't he play for Kentucky, if I'm not mistaken? Yep. Okay, he played for Kentucky. He was a one and done, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. So when he goes into his international play and you say he elevates his game to a 99, that's because he's playing in his element. So that's where my big question is. I'm looking at the Team USA roster, and I want to try to understand how they are going to maintain any sort of dominance. You got Team USA going against Canada on July 10th. July 15, they got to go over to Dubai, Abu Dhabi to play Australia. 2 games there. The Serbia game. Luka Doncic. This guy took his team to the NBA Finals, and he's going to be bringing cohorts, guys that are on NBA Scouts rosters right now. That team is also loaded. 6'5" across the board, dead-eye shooters, good defenders, and the rebounds not necessarily needed because these guys are cashing buckets. Serbia, let's talk about it. Go ahead.
No, man, and this is why the vets are needed. This is why you need guys who have a lot of playoff games under the belt, championships under the belt, because you have to lock in. And you can reflect back to this Boston Celtics team. The reason why we're all saying that Kyrie didn't show up, yeah, you can say that. He also got locked up. He got locked up by a team. All of these guys have the capability of playing high-end defense, communicating, switching, turning that into fast break points. That's what's going to get this team past legitimate competition. It's got to start on the defensive end. Somebody's got to set the tone. You know, we don't know who that will be, but that's why you have folks who are leaders, and it's going to be different from night to night. That's kind of what is unique about this experience, is because when are you going to see Jason Tatum be a role player in the NBA? When are you going to see, you know, some of
that's another question I have.
Called upon a switch, take a screen, like, yo, what's getting you on the court?
Is that going to be an issue? That's the question that I have. Will that be an issue? When you look at this young talent here in the NBA and you look at where they are from a development standpoint, there's still a lot of questions out there about who's going to be next, who's going to be dominant. Again, we just saw Jason Tatum win that championship in Boston. And then you got to ask yourself, can you tell an NBA champion to come off the bench, maybe set a few screens, maybe we're not going to run any plays for you, LeBron's got to get his fill? How is that going to work? If they can put the egos aside, yes. But we've seen it in the past. And again, the competition amongst these gentlemen in the NBA season, it may not be as intense as it was 25, 30 years ago, but that familiarity between the players, do you think that maybe could help Team USA in itself? I think it could be a hindrance for maybe some of the other teams knowing the tendencies of these players. But Daryl, in your thoughts, and then we'll take a short commercial break, do you think that there's any possibility that may be of some help to Team USA, understanding some of these international players and understanding some of their tendencies as well to try to elevate their game in international play? Go ahead.
Yeah. These guys, they'll earn each other's respect, and that they'll earn each other's, you know, that kind of camaraderie comes in from the practices and knowing that, yo, we're representing our country, dude. Like, at the end of the day, if I see that you are putting the work in and deserve that's the minutes you need to take, the role you need to take, we know what the league is about. You know, we'll get back to that, but I respect that you are stepping to the plate. This is what you contribute. Let's rock.
There you go. Daryl Harris, JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express. When I get back from this short commercial break, all money, all sports, no bull. Let's get it.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball, JB the Ticket.
In times of war and peace, the men and women of our military dedicate themselves to serving our country. We salute those who have given their lives for our country. Their sacrifice will never be forgotten.
This salute is courtesy of Mac and Grill Cheese Factory, serving our area with quality and pride. For a fantastic meal, stop by 1331 West Warm Springs Road in Henderson or call them at 725-214-4140. That's 725-214-4140. Mac and Grill Cheese Factory, on the air reminding everyone that we live in the land of the free thanks to our brave.
Skip your cable bill this month and join the action with JB and Fubo TV. Get 7 days free, 15% off your first month. No credit check, no deposit, no installation hassle. Go to FuboTV.com/JB. Sign up, download the app, and start watching games.
Enjoy being a subscriber after the first month. Easy cancellation anytime. Regional restrictions apply. Sign up at VegasScoreboardExpress.com.
Steiner's, the Nevada-style pub, invites you to play the best tavern, keno, and video poker in Vegas. Promos are how we roll to make the most of your gaming dollars here with us. Come play our proud partner gaming promotion, Fly Aviators Fly, and receive daily free play, bonuses, and more. With a chance to win awesome branded prizes and big money for all their jackpots each week. It's not only great gaming that Steiner's Pub has, it's the 24 awesome rotating draft beers and Vegas' best appetizers to match. So join us in supporting your Las Vegas Aviators, Golden Knights, Lights, Aces, and the Raiders as we make history in Vegas. Steiner's, the Nevada-style pub at 8410 West Cheyenne, 1750 North Buffalo, and Las Vegas Boulevard at Windmill. Steiner's, I love this place.
Yo. You're in the mix. Or else find You're listening to the boss of the big ball. JB the Cat. Vegas Sports. Giving you that green.
All money, all sports, no bull. Back at you live. JB the Ticket and Vegas Scoreboard Express. My main man Daryl Harris. KLAS CBS 8 live in studio with me. You got my main man Smooth Ready. Going to be coming on at 9 o'clock to give you a little bit of that morning blues. Going to be having barbecue for you in a couple of weeks, just giving you that test run. But talking about this Team USA basketball, they are here in the city in Las Vegas, all grease. You heard it. You talk about quite a good team, man. Guard heavy, though. Devin Booker, Drew Holiday, Jason Tatum. He's a tweener. You got Kawhi Leonard over there. Again, I don't know. Again, he's one, he's trying to make a comeback.
I've seen the clips, though. He is out there.
Solid.
He's
operating. There you go. As long as he's operating.
He looks like Kawhi. The braids aren't
because normally when the battery falls out of his back, and I just mentioned Anthony Davis, gingerbread, missing an egg or two. We can't have injuries overseas in Paris, guys, so stay healthy, especially playing in these pickup games into the exhibition round, if you will. But you look at a guy like Bam Adebayo. Mm-hmm. Congratulations to Bam Adebayo, man. What a career he has been able to carve out in the NBA.
Yeah.
Wasn't expected to do much. He kind of reminds me of a new generation Ben Wallace, if you will. Remember Ben Wallace?
Oh, yeah.
Great on the defensive end. He's now increased his scoring. I saw Bam get an average. I think he averaged about 18 a game, 18 and 9. That's not bad.
Working on the three ball.
Working on that 3-point shooting that you need here in today's NBA. But when you go into it from a rebounding perspective, I think that if Joel Embiid, Adebayo, and Anthony Davis, if he can remain healthy, hang around that spread FIBA paint, it's like a triangle down there in the low.
Yeah.
We can control the boards. The question is, where's our shooting going to come from? We know we've got Steph Curry. Again, shout out to Steph Curry here in Las Vegas. Don't gamble too much.
He's playing some golf, I imagine.
I probably so, man. He's probably gambling on that golf course as well. Boy is a dang good golfer, man. I've seen him hit a couple hole-in-ones, making Scotty Scheffler shake. But when you go to scoring, anyone on this team can score. Who do you think that Eric Spoelstra, I think he's the lead head coach, right?
No, it's we've got Steve Kerr.
Steve Kerr, okay. Now, he's a shooting type coach, so I'm thinking maybe he might do a 3-guard set, 2 big men, which is kind of feasible for the FIBA type basketball. But again, I want to talk about hardcore scoring. These are not going to be blowout games. This is going to be competitive basketball. And I think anybody who is not going to watch the Olympics because maybe their favorite player isn't in there, they're going to do themselves a disservice. It's going to be some good basketball, good betting as well. Like I told you, the spreads are going to be real, and I think that after maybe the first couple of games, they'll tighten up.
Yep, there's a necessary adjustment phase. It's 10-minute quarters, but also what's different is the officiating. The reason why I had so much fun watching it last year is because it is a different game. The flow, the inbound to transition is quicker. The play with the ball being live around the rim and defensive tactics you can maneuver with that. It's a heady version of the game. It's quick, but that pace doesn't just mean that it's going to be more up and down. It can mean that it's going to be sloppier.
Right.
It can mean a lot, but they're different. The timing's different along with with how it's officiated. Presents a different game, and Team USA is just going to have to find what is working that night. It's got to start probably on the defensive end because the shooting, if you're playing good defense leads to good offense. These guys are all too skilled and too capable for it to really become an issue. However, you will need somebody to be like, I'm going to get this bucket.
Mm-hmm.
if they put themselves in that position, you know, the best of the best will emerge. And that's probably, you know, we're going to look for Steph. We're going to look for KD to get a look. We're going to look inside. We're going to create this pick and roll, and y'all create. You know, y'all have played this positionless style before.
Right.
If it's just, look, feed Joel.
There you go.
Feed Joel.
Let's
that
keep
could be
him
an option.
Let's keep him from shooting too many threes, though. But I just want to make sure.
Yeah, feed him down low.
Right.
Yeah,
because he's got the moves, man. I remember a couple seasons ago, and I've seen him on Instagram working with a lot of these young guys. Hakeem Olajuwon. These guys that are 7 foot tall plus, who are kind of made themselves out of into big men and kind of tweeners, they would do well to study 3 guys actually, that I think would not only increase their efficiency around the basket 15 feet in, but old school guys. Kevin McHale, Kiki Vandeweghe. I'm telling you, Kiki Vandeweghe had some of the best footwork. Slow, but was always open. Amazing. And I'm telling you, Hakeem Olajuwon. A dream shake. He had that handle 15 in. Hakeem hit you with a quick cross. Boom, he on you. It's over.
And they were all counters. It wasn't even that.
Right.
100%. No, they've got those are great, you know, legends to study. The bigs are there. I look at a Drew Holiday and a Kawhi and just think about the lineup that could be built around. It's like you're going to give whoever you want to defensive problems. So shout out, man. The women's team, they've got their work cut out.
Let's transition into some WNBA. The guys have had enough grease. The Aces were in action last night. They ended up losing to the LA Sparks. De'Arica Hamby, man, she's rocking. MVP of the WNBA this year, possibly. De'Arica Hamby for the Sparks, even though they're not winning anything, she'll is balling.
She'll be on ballots.
There you go. She's, you know, number 10 in the league. You know, you got to tell them where they're at, though. Ooh, 5-15.
Well, it wasn't their first
Trying to make $1 out of 15 cents. Go ahead.
It wasn't their first one over the Aces this year.
Well, you know, the Aces started off a little bit shaky, but they're getting back into form in the 5th position. 12-7 is the record. You've seen the Connecticut Sun, New York Liberty flip-flopping in the first 2 positions, 17-4 and 16-4 respectively. But the Aces, as we get into that second half of the season after the Olympics, they've got quite a few players on that Olympic team. Do you think they're going to start slowing down in the second half just due to the fact that with all the ladies that are going from the Aces to the Olympic squad, they're going to have that second team step up to provide them some kind of a rest in the second half of that season? But go ahead.
Yeah, this is something that as soon as we saw the rosters and that we had 4 members on the team, that's a great thing. I'm looking at it like from a coaching perspective as well, I guess, and just thinking that we've also got more percentage of our team, and not even that. That's our whole starting lineup. Almost, they're all starters. And
yeah, go ahead.
They're not missing a beat in terms of, you know, high competitive play for that month-long break.
Right.
How will that translate after the fact?
Right. That's my big question.
They have depth now, and that's the reason why you go and get Tiffany Hayes. It's the reason why you draft Kate Martin, and you have a bench unit that is capable of playing even more minutes than they're getting on this team. So I don't think that they can't balance it, and that Becky Hammond won't make it make sense. But also, you know, they will have a lot to lean on because that Team USA roster is very, very, very potent on the women's side as well. Right. So they don't have to go play super women for their teams. They can be a part of a team and play their roles. It's tough when you're the best player in the world, though, like Asia.
There you go, Asia Wilson. You know, she's got to do the work. She's got to do the work. I mean, but you look at this roster here. You got Jackie Young, Asia Wilson, Chelsea Gray. Kelsey Plum is on the Olympic team.
Oh, yeah. Dog.
There you go. I mean, that's pretty much the whole squad when you talk about the first 3 key starters. So going into the WNBA, let's talk about some of the action that we have lined up today. Rotation number 617, the Atlanta Dream. Huge dog, plus 13. Plus 600 on the money line, heading up to the Connecticut Sun. Rotation number 618, as you know, minus 13, minus 900. Very expensive. Total in this game is 150.5. Daryl, let's do some grease here. Now, the last time you told me to pick up the Atlanta Dream, I told you not to do it, but they were able to squeak out that win. But now when you look at where they are at, the Atlanta Dream in the 9 position, 7-12, kind of scrappy. This is one of those teams that I think can maybe make a push after the Olympic squad because they don't have anybody on the Olympic squad. Just saying.
Yeah, they're still dealing with injuries.
Yes.
No Ryan Howard, no Aerial Powers. And they're being led by Tina Charles, who just became a top 3 all-time scorer.
There you go.
Congratulations.
There you go. She's been balling for 1,000 years.
Yeah,
but go ahead.
This is a 14-point spread, big spread. I don't love 14 for Connecticut just because this could end up, in the 10 to 12 or 13-point range. I don't think it'll be a shootout. So I'm not telling you to take the 14. I'm just telling you I don't love Connecticut minus 14. It's probably an under. But we got the Aces on deck as well. Aces have Dallas this morning.
There you go. Let's talk about it. Let's pull it up.
Another 16 and a half.
16 and a half. Rotation number 619, the Dallas Wings. You know those Wings have been clipped a while ago. Still knocking around the bottom of the WNBA standings. The Dallas Wings, the number 11 standing team at 5-16, going up against those Aces again in that 5th position. Rotation number 620. 620 is where it's at. 16 and a half, minus 1550. I think the Aces are going to come out and start smacking people, okay? They were not happy about that loss to the LA Sparks. I saw, Coach was not very happy about that. I mean, she gets to be very emotional when they don't win correctly.
She keeps it real.
She keeps it 100. I mean, and that was a game that they should have won, but the mistakes down towards the end, that's why I tell you that fatigue factor later on after the Olympics could come into play. But back on action today at home. Think they're at the Michelob for this one. Dallas Wings ain't going to be filling up no T-Mobile, but still going to be a good game. 16 and a half plus 875. Can the Dallas Wings make a few layups? I mean, that's really what I've been looking for. I mean, give me the easy shot.
So the variable that we'll have to look out for in this game is Tierra McCowan for Dallas. She's their starting center, 6'7". She had regressed to only a handful of minutes for like 4 to 5 games, and she's a double walking double on the other side of that. But teams that play with pace sometimes play her out of the rotation. Now the Aces are capable of that. However, Tierra McCowan also just had like 15 and 15 her last game. She looked great. So I'm just little trepidations on 16 and a half. I don't think that this is that easy of a victory. Case in point, these close games, the Aces are 5-11, I believe, against the spread.
Oh no.
So it just
buyback. Sounds like a buyback.
It bears some consideration. If anything, jack that number to 20 or something. I think that
jack it to 20.
I think that's pretty safe. That's pretty safe to take Dallas to cover that as the underdog.
To take Dallas to cover. You're talking about the dog side. Look, I want to get paid today. Cut that Aces spread in half if you do that, though. But see, that's the thing is that this game, I personally don't see any value here on it. I hate to say it. We finally hit that situation where you don't have any value because the way the Aces are getting priced. You're talking about a team that lost a game a couple days ago. Bookmakers think they're going to blow out this team. They're at home. Dallas Wings are no good. If you say minus 20 for Dallas or plus 20 for Dallas, why not take it up to minus 20 for the Aces? You think it'll be close. There is some factor about maybe saving some of these Olympic starters. I have been seeing a lot more of the second unit getting minutes on the floor for the Aces, but the Dallas Wings, I mean, who are we kidding? This is a dog that's barking with fleas, and I don't think they're going to win anything today. But the blowout, we talk about this spread to make some money, minus 16 and a half. I mean, you're not really getting anything with the Aces. And if you go money line with these ladies, minus 1550, I mean, that is just, I mean, come on, man. Like, nobody dropping rent today. Go ahead.
I think you really have to consider. Now, this is when I toss out there a first quarter or first half bet.
There you go.
Because that's a very possible outcome that they'll lay the hammer early. And yeah, go ahead. Then do with that what you will for the rest of the game. Call it a day after that, however you want to set that up. But this is one of those times where, if I think it's going to be that one-sided, I'm just saying anything can happen in the second half to where you're hoping for a 17, 18 point cushion. And for some reason, it gets cut to 13 and it gets cuts to 14 and less than that. So I wouldn't really, it's no incentive for the Aces to just absolutely run this team off the court. And that's overlooking the talent that is also over there. They've got Natasha Howard back. They've got JC Sheldon, who just hit 5 or 6 threes in their previous game. They just signed Odyssey Sims. Odyssey Sims has been balling and brought a presence that Dallas didn't have up until this past week now, and she's shown it with 4 straight good games.
He likes the dog here. I'm going to just let Daryl make that pick. He said buy up the Dallas Wings with all that hot sauce on them to +20. Let's move along to the Chicago Sky and Angel Reese. This young lady can ball. Now, she misses a lot of layups, but she gets her rebound and puts them back in. So kind of padding her stats there. But +9 today versus the Seattle Storm. I think this is the dog that is barking. Chicago Sky +360 on the money line as well. -475 for the Seattle Storm at home. -9. Rotation number 622, the Seattle Storm. They have been playing some really good basketball. Very under the radar in the WNBA. And they've got that young lady, Skylar Diggins, right? Skylar Diggins Smith.
Yep, Jewel Lloyd.
There you go. Some ballers. But Chicago Sky, you got Angel Reese, can break the rookie double-double record. That's what I'm telling you. She pads her stats because she makes a quick move to the basket, headstrong, throws it off the backboard, and then all of a sudden she gets it back and then puts it back in the basket. So that's an offensive rebound, a little bit of grease, padding the stats, but the reality is the reality. The Chicago Sky, let's take a look at this. Almost call them the Chicago Bulls. Moved up to the 7th spot in the WNBA at 8-11. So they have been doing some wins.
Half a game ahead of Indiana.
Yeah, not too bad. You talk about the Indiana Fever, the rookie of the year, in my opinion, a clear shot for Angel Reese. I mean, Caitlin Clark, yes, she's been doing well. Her team has been a little bit shaky in the sense of its winning percentages, but they are improving. But when you talk about actual fan power, and I actually saw a young little girl yesterday with this woman's jersey on, Angel Reese.
Oh, it's happening.
She's becoming a phenomena in the league. She reminds me of that Shamiqua Holdsclaw back in the day when she came in. Shout out New York. Always got to shout out my New York ladies that balled. But Angel Reese, Baltimore, Maryland, has a very, very, very park game. But she's in the right spot. She gets open. She posts up. She runs the floor. She plays great defense. I don't see any reason why she shouldn't be a shoulder above Caitlin Clark for the rookie of the year. I mean, let's talk about it. Angel Reese has been doing work. And when you talk about her other center cohort, Cardozo, she's in a fashion show. We all know that. You know, it is what it is. But Angel Reese is keeping these young ladies relevant, and she's a scrappy baller. If she can break that rookie double-double record today, I think that is something that would put her, again, a shoulder above Caitlin Clark for this WNBA Rookie of the Year. And neither one of them are on the Olympic team. So, you know. Go ahead.
I am just super happy that we have, you know, this much attention sort of on this topic. And you can fall on either side of who you're rooting for. For me, I think it's Caitlin. I think Caitlin's a heck of a player. She's been the top of scouting reports and is getting jacked at half court because teams appreciate or teams acknowledge, you know, what they're going against. They're taking it serious, their matches against her. She just had the first rookie triple-double yesterday as well. I mean, I think that you can get lost in the weeds of what all of the, what's the rebound worth versus an assist worth. You can get lost in all of that. Ultimately, right now, the teams are split by a half game in the standings. I think we're going to see them both make the postseason.
Yeah.
I think that they're just both, they're all-stars for a reason. All the games against them have been great games. So it'll play itself out. It doesn't really matter, you know, on which side you do want to fall, because the argument, it gets lost. People take it the wrong direction.
Yeah.
As strictly basketball, I think Caitlin's ridiculous. We got to give her credit. Took down the number 1 seed, got a triple-double against them, you know, yesterday, and that's a big deal. Now today, we have a repeat spread with Seattle and Chicago.
There you go.
They just faced off on Friday night, 10-point underdogs. Chicago won outright. They're a 9-point underdog today. They're kind of daring you to say, okay, well, Should I just take them plus the 9?
Win by 1,
Because
lose by none. Go ahead.
Clearly, they're capable.
Right.
Clearly, that even if they want to tilt the spread because Seattle's had a better season so far, they wouldn't just beat them if they weren't on their level or better.
I'm telling you, I like the dog today.
So,
Chicago Sky. Seattle Storm is tough.
Give yourself some cushion there. Make that 12.
There you go. Buy it up a little bit on the plus side. You can get some money with it. Let's talk a little bit about that Seattle Storm team, though. When you go back to the record, Seattle right there knocking around the top at number 4, 13-7 overall. Losing streak, though. They lost their last game, 6-4 in their last 10. Not as dominant at home as I would like to see them at home to be dominant. But when you talk about it from the perspective of an 8-2 record, but losing those close games, this is one of those situations where I think Chicago can not only get inside of that spread, maybe win by 1. It's a plus 360 value. And as far as the players and the scrappiness of the team, you got Teaspoon coaching. Always got a shout out again, another New York Liberty legend. Might even have to sprinkle a little bit of pizza on that money line. Let's move into the next WNBA game we got here. Talking about those Phoenix Mercury. Rotation number 623, -3. This one is a road favorite, -155. Total on that game is a 166. You talk about the Los Angeles Sparks at home in the dog position. Rotation number 624, +3, +135. What say ye, Daryl?
Phoenix is a team that, for one, I think that Brittany Griner might be out of the game for personal reasons today. Just a heads up for betting perspective. So that doesn't mean that Phoenix won't be a high level version of themselves. They're going to come out to play. They also played the first half of the season without her, so this isn't going to be something they're,
Yeah, you're talking about a 500 team here, number 6 in the league at 10-10. Go ahead.
The Sparks, I think that their best rotation is finally emerging through all of the loss that they've had. Ari McDonald's playing great. I think that Stephanie Halbert, she's got her filling a great role ever since Cameron Brink went down, brings some of that international, stretch big, facilitating presence. She just had 9 assists yesterday against the Aces.
There you go. Ring them up.
This team's going to be, and De'Erica Hamby has been just an all around star for this team. So I wouldn't run away from taking the LA Sparks to cover some of these underdog spreads again, because I think they're finding themselves right now. They had a rotation that lost a lot of members, but it was cloudy and, crowded at the beginning of the season. Now they've only got 8 or 9, 10 girls to really lean on. Ray Burrell, girls like this coming off the bench, and they are getting it done.
Telling you, Daryl Harris, my main man, KLAS, CBS 8 here in Las Vegas, D-Hoops University. When we get back from this short commercial break, going to throw a couple of baseball picks at you with our best plays of the day. Finish up that WNBA. Again, shout out to Team USA here in Las Vegas. If you're up early in the morning, you guys can tune in to the replay on this show in about an hour. Spotify, TuneIn, Apple, iHeartRadio, you name it, I am there. Quick shout outs, Daryl, before I take this commercial break, and then we come back and get ready to roll. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the Drew League today, man. I had my Drew League hat on last time, and I meant to give them a shout out, but it's Drew League season. Love going out there, seeing some hoopers. There's always some folks that I know, went to school with, played the games out there. Man, might listen to, have an album from them or two.
There you go. Drew League. That's what I'm talking about. When we get back from this short commercial break, too, going to have my main man, Smooth Freddie, jump on the line, tell you a little bit about the show that he's going to be doing. So you guys want to keep it locked here. JB, the Ticket Vegas Scoreboard Express. We get money.
You're listening to the boss of the big boss, JP the Ticket. Hey, Vegas Scoreboard Express. Giving you that grease.
Basketball season is heating up, so stay in the game with Fubo TV. Get the NBA, NCAA, FIBA, and more. Get 7 days free at VegasScoreboardExpress.com. Don't get cabled. Get Fubo TV.
More fire, more heat.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball, JP the Ticket.
Back at you live, JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express, giving you the grease, waking you back up here this Sunday. Thank you guys so much for tuning in this 4th of July weekend, 7/7/2024, giving you the grease here. If you want those baseball picks, you got to go to the website, jbtheticket.com. That's where I'm going to hook you up to make sure you get what you need. But before we go, I promised I'd give him a little bit of airtime. My main man, Smooth Freddie, coming on with the new show from VSX Music Networks. Food for the Soul. What's going on, Freddie?
Howdy. How's it going?
There you go, man. You got to make sure people can hear that deep Southern voice from Mississippi talking about that Mississippi Gulf music, talking about that soul, a little bit of that blues, and tell them a little bit about that barbecue program that you had put together. We're going to be doing this in the fall. Football season, get ready. Each and every Sunday, going to be riding and rolling with my main man, Smooth Freddie. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. So basically what we got is a whole bunch of soul, a whole bunch of food, a whole bunch of things going on for the black community. It's called Food for the Soul. My name is Freddie. Of course, I go by Freddie D. Smooth. But you guys should log in, or you should listen in to this show, because we're going to be covering a whole bunch of feel-good music, going back in time, bringing it to recent music. And we're just going to be doing a lot of that feel-good, dancing in your kitchen, cooking with mama and the family type of music for the family, soul, and everybody out there listening.
And you guys already know we got the best voices here on VSX. Daryl Harris live in studio with me. What's your best play of the day, man? We're getting ready to get out of here and let Freddie do his thing.
You know, this is going to be a good day of hoops. I got to say, back the sky. Why not? Plus 9.5.
Plus 9.5. I like that as well. I'm going to concur. We like the sky. Freddie, you've been here in studio all afternoon or all morning, depending on where you're listening. Again, shout out to my folks over on the East Coast. Shout out to my folks over in Europe and Paris getting ready. We've been giving you that Olympic grease. Again, shout out to Team USA getting ready to go pick up a couple of gold medals and make us shine. But Freddie, if you got a pick, go ahead and throw something out there for us.
I'm going to stick with you guys. I like listening to you guys and taking y'all point of view. I trust your opinion. So
thank you.
I'm going to go with what you say.
There you go. So you know what time it is, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to Vegas Scoreboard Express. I will be back next weekend. Keep it locked here. 107.1 FM. Food for the Soul. My main man, Freddie D. Smooth, getting ready to drop that grease for you to get you moving and grooving this Sunday morning. And I thank you so much for listening to me here. So you keep it locked. Any final shout-outs? I'll go around the board. Daryl Harris, quick.
Shout out to Little Bash, man. 3-year-old on deck.
There you go. Big Bashy.
I want to shout out to everybody listening. Thank you guys for tuning in and keep it coming.
There you go. And I want to give a shout out to all you guys listening here in Las Vegas and around the world. KSHP.com. My main man, Mark Hayes, studio director. Everybody putting it together. You guys know what time it is. It's time to wake up, get to the window, and get the money.
You're listening to the boss of the big bar, JB the Ticket. Vegas Scoreboard Express. Giving you that grease.